Welcome back to the Big Blue Lifers podcast. I'm Mr. U. That's Jess. We're here to talk all things New York Football Giants. My guy, how's it going, man? How you doing today?
It's going all right. Had a bye week. Nothing to get too mad about. Honestly, it was a pretty good bye week for the Giants because we now have the number one pick in the draft. If we don't do what we always do and get those culture wins to end the season and drop us from 1 to 8.
I'll tell you right now, just before you blow a gasket, there's a good chance that might end up happening.
Oh yeah. I was looking at our schedule and we have Washington this week, Minnesota, then the Raiders, and then the Cowboys. There is a very real chance we go 3-1 to end the season.
I can see this happening. I'm like, I don't know if that's what we want, but I can see that happen. Like I told you week before last, if we're in the top 10, I'm not going to complain about it. I think we'll talk about this as we get into the show today, but we're in a weird spot. We're in a weird place because we're not bad enough to do a full rebuild and sell off all of our parts, but we're not good enough to be in the playoffs. So there's a lot of stuff, and you add the finances into that. We're in a really weird position that probably nobody wants to be in, but I guess there's a silver lining here if you look for it. But aside that, man, let's go ahead and try to jump into some of this stuff for a show. Where we starting off today? I guess Monday Night Football, because that's kind of where we led into on our last episode. So I guess we just need to start Monday Night Football. It makes a lot of sense because they're playing tonight with two different teams. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the Monday Night Football recap first. So we played the Pats, 33-18, I think was the score of that game. Oh, that's funny. But where are you going, man? What you thinking?
Well, I remember distinctly we recorded a little bit before the game, and we kind of ended that show talking about what did we think was going to happen in the game. And I said, we're going to lose, but I think it'll be a good game. I think we'll keep it close. And I was very wrong. Now, it was mostly wrong because I think we had what amounted to possibly the worst special teams day in the history of the NFL.
The worst in history?
We gave up a return touchdown. We missed an extra point. We had the worst field goal attempt possibly ever. We kept giving up big return yardage on punts and everything. And it was on the national stage. So, yeah, it definitely might be up there. I might be, being a bit hyperbolic, exaggerating a bit, but it was really, really bad. So Dart looked not quite himself. Granted, I said before the game, this Patriots defense was going to be one of the best he was going to face all year. And he's had to do this, at least when he went up against Denver, he had Cam Scatabo, so they were able to have a consistent running game. We weren't able to do that very well this week. And so, it was just really bad all around. I was texting you that I think this was the nail in the coffin for Joe Schoen. And Jesus Christ, why am I getting ads now? Oh my God, what was that? I don't know if you could hear that.
No, I didn't hear it. I just heard you saying, "Why we getting?"
No, I was. I'm setting up I have the background here. For spoiler alert to those listening, a mock draft, and an ad popped up, and it had volume. So I was like, oh my God, did that happen? Did that get recorded? So hopefully not. But yeah, no. I think Joe Schoen's done. And a few days following that was the press conference that he does every week. and he was over half an hour late. I don't know if you were following the saga of that on Twitter like I was, but everything seemed like he had gotten a talking to. He doesn't sound super confident that he's going to be here in the off season, and quite frankly, I don't know if that's good or not. We've discussed this before. Forget from a draft perspective. I'm hoping I don't want Lou Anarumo. I don't want Arthur Smith. I don't want some second chance guy who sucked, and is only being hired by us because he's got some kind of connection to the Mara family. I don't know if Joe Schoen would allow that to happen, if he would try and steer us in a different direction, or if he would just go along with that against his better judgment just to try and keep his job. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm worried. I'm very worried.
Well, in regards to the special team thing, I'm grateful that we are not actually the worst in history, because that would just be like, stockpiling what we already got going on in the past several seasons. So there's a couple of teams that are actually worse than we are special teams wise, which is fantastic. 2010 Chargers did it pretty much the benchmark. They've always had struggles throughout the years. It wasn't offense, it was special team, it was defense, it was special teams. It feels like the teams that are really good offensively and defensively have really horrible special teams. Like the 2023 Rams, for example, they had a fantastic season, if I'm not mistaken. The special team one of the worst historically in 2023. So weird stuff there. In regards to Joe Schoen, yeah, I tried to follow that brother as much as I possibly could. Honestly, I think you said it, or we said it, we both agreed. All this cake was almost gone here. I was explaining it to my wife. Matter of fact, this was earlier today. I use the Giants as an analogy. I'm fully entrenched. I'm talking about something that's not football, but I'm using the Giants as an analogy for it. You know where I'm at in life. But I was saying that, after you see all these problems and you get rid of all the people who you perceive as the problem, and the problem is still going on, there's only one common denominator left. And guess who that is? Besides Mara. That's Joe Schoen. There's really nobody else left you can blame for anything. You can't blame Basillo for anything, because actually his team is overperforming. So you can't blame him. You got rid of the assistant DCs. Cox, you can't blame him. So it's like, who else is left? There's nobody else left but Schoen. So his demeanor does kind of look like a lame duck kind of guy, which is honestly, it's probably the best thing for this organization. I can't say for everybody else, not a blanket statement. For this team, for this organization, it's probably best for us to clean the house in that regard. I know we can't do a full rebuild. That's crazy. As a matter of fact, I'm not even for that. I'm totally against it. I don't want to lose Malik. I want to see a healthy Malik and see what we have. I want to see a healthy Scat. I don't want to get rid of those guys, but everybody that we named might have to be up on that list, because everybody that's watching today may have heard the list that we had before. So we might have to get into that. But there's certain guys we want to see them either come back with new deals or move them for some kind of a trade piece, some draft capital. But those are like a full rebuild, something I don't want to see happen. But in regards to management, I kind of feel like, you know what? It is what it is. If a new guy comes in and he doesn't want Carmen to coach the O-line, it is what it is. Bring in your own people. That's the chance you take. But as far as GM goes, he's doing a lot of good things. They're not all bad. I don't know how you want to rate that from a percentage standpoint, but I'm sure there's more bad than good. Honestly, I think it's just time, man. Like you said, no more scapegoating, no more excuse making. And now we got issues with one of your star players with attendance and all kinds. I'm like, wow. I wonder how much you got to do with it. Because are you against Penn State guys, Joe Schoen? Do you hate people from Penn State? You got rid of our most productive player, and then you got rid of that. You're almost like you're trying to force out, or you're trying to diminish probably one of the best players on our defensive side. So I don't know what's going on. I think Joe Schoen is in the place where he's on his way out, man. But I could be wrong about that. But I don't know what the value is. What he's doing with the money, and I said this before, and I'm gonna put this out here in case somebody drops it in the comments, is fair. I hate the idea of not using the void year, because competitively everybody else is using it to their advantage. Teams like Philly and many others. I think the Packers is doing that too. But we don't do that. But so our books look really, really clean, but we lost flexibility. We can't do anything in the market when we need to add pieces because of that inflexibility. So I give them props for that part. But beyond that, I'm kind of open to some fresh blood, some fresh meat at GM. So I know head coach is going to happen for sure. It's going to happen at multiple spots on the line, but I don't know, man. I think I'm one of the guys who'll be voting against having him back as a GM. I don't really see it. I think you and I both agree on that for the most part. So I don't think he's the guy. What do you think about Kafka as far? I know that if you move to GM, you're probably going to be moving to head coach too. But he's in the interim spot, so if it's been guaranteed for him. But I kind of don't feel like he's the guy to be the head coach. If you want to give him an interview, I think that's fair to allow him the privilege to do that. Let him give you an idea what his plan looks like. But honestly, I don't think he's it. We got to have somebody else in now. We can discuss who that's going to be if you want to get into that during the show today. But I just feel like he's not it. How you feel about Kafka today? I know you had a week off to kind of think about it and kind of
I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy. He's fine for what he, with the pieces he has. It feels almost kind of wrong to judge him being that he's an offensive mind and we don't have our top weapons. I mean, Tracy is fine as a running back. Like we said, going into the year, he's not Saquon. He's not Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. He's not one of those absolute game changers, but he's a guy that you would expect to be able to be productive. And he's been fine, these past few games. Nothing special, but nothing terrible. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Work has just been kicking my butt.
Yeah, man. He's an RB2, man. He has RB2 numbers.
He's a good complementary back. With between him and Scatterbo, I think that's a great 1-2 punch.
Oh, I'm not ready to go that far. I'm not ready to go that far.
If we get a better run blocking offensive, we're gonna need to replace Greg Van Roten. That much is a given. I mean, he's a free agent and he's like 35, 36. I hope we re-sign Illuminor. We probably still need to upgrade from JMS, but he has shown improvement. And John Runyon, for his entire career, has never been a great run blocker. He's a much better pass blocker. And so we might end up needing to replace, let's assume we resign Illuminor. Let's assume we do the smart thing and aren't total morons. But we're going to need to replace a right guard, probably in the draft, maybe via free agency. And then John Runyon is probably at least going to be considered as a cutting or a trade to free up some cap space to extend guys, re-sign guys, etc. So we would need to replace him, possibly. So if we just if we're able to do those things and the run blocking improves a bit, then who knows? I definitely think these guys can get even better. But that's a whole lot of ifs and, speculation. Because we don't know what Scatterbo is going to be like when he gets back. Not that he was some speedy, agile runner to begin with. So I don't know how much.
Low Scat, but he wasn't that though.
No, he was a pure bull rusher. He wanted to run into you. He wanted you to feel the pain.
Trip over himself, trip over his own feet. I mean, I've seen all kinds of stuff. I'm like, wow, this is incredible, but I'm still loving it though.
So, but that's what I mean. Like, if there's a little bit better run blocking, I think the combination of the power of Scatterbo and, again, he's not Jahmyr Gibbs out there or anything, but, a bit more of the shiftiness of Tracy is a good 1-2 combo. I probably went a little far when I said great, but
You
a
did
good
go too
1-2
far.
combo.
Matter of fact, you might go too far saying shooty too. I'm not sure. I think that was a lot of saving mustard on that one too. I think. look at it like this, okay? Here's the question that I think anybody who is a Giants fan should probably be asking this question, because we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff as we round up the end of the season. But I guess we got to decide who we want to be, who we want our identity to be. Because I know I talked about it multiple times. Hopefully, I didn't bore you with it, but I was talking about the identity of the Giants and the smash mouth football, low scoring defensive games. I think in those years, which span multiple decades, that's kind of where we thrive. But I don't know who's coming in here who's going to be taking over. I'm not asking John Mara's opinion because he's the owner, and it doesn't matter. But it's just not what we talk about because we don't know what he thinks unless he tells us on mic. But we don't know what their approach is because we're heading into 2026. I don't know what kind of team they want to have with this team. Do you want to have overwhelmingly a strong defensive teams where they kind of just keep high scoring offenses at 17 points or less? Is that what you're shooting for? Or do you want to have a high powered offense? Because I'm thinking about both sides of the coin. When I think about somebody who is like Scatterbo and somebody to be a compliment to him, I'm not even thinking about Thunder and Lightning as much as I used to when we had guys like Bradshaw and Ward and what have you, but and Brandon Jacobs. But now I'm thinking about something different now. I'm like, okay, so what if we had two guys that can potentially have 1,000-yard seasons? Built differently, but they can both potentially have that. We see it in college a lot. Well, in some cases in college a lot. And it's like, what better way to keep defenses on their heels, tiring them out, fatiguing them? They fatigued in the third quarter because they're getting run on. I mean, that's a good problem to have if you wanted to be your identity. If the Giants are not doing that and they're trying to do a ground and pound kind of approach, then I kind of can see why a guy like Tracy fits opposite Scatterbo. So I just put all that out there to say I don't know who we're looking for. I don't know what we're trying to accomplish identity-wise. I can't really tell. I can't see it yet. So if that's the case, and we're going for a high-powered offense, we're trying to outscore people, which is commensurate with a lot of teams are doing now in 2025, then it makes a lot of sense to get somebody aside from Tracy that can kind of give you those high-powered RB1 kind of numbers. But speaking of that, man, looks like the defense is still on the struggle bus. I'm running out of ideas here. Why are we still not able to? When the new coach comes in, they're going to have a lot of questions. Their work's going to be cut out for them because these guys got talent. I know if you look at Kayvon's numbers when he's healthy, he has above average numbers as far as efficiency rates and stuff. But as a whole, as a team, run defense wise, like I think you mentioned it, like run defense wise, we're on a struggle bus. It's like it's not looking good. I don't know how it's going to work with some of what we're talking about with the new coach coming in, but how you feeling on that? The head coach part and the defense part, and what I said about the running backs. So you got 3 questions.
Well, coaching wise, I mean, this whole year's just been a disappointment.
A roller coaster ride.
And I think the coaching, there are 2 coaches on the entire roster that I would want to retain. Carmen Brasil on the offensive line and Andre Patterson on the defensive line. You know, I think a big thing for the defense isn't necessarily, well, this year it's kind of just finishing the sacks. We keep getting all these pressures. We keep, disrupting but not finishing. That's going to be a big thing to clean up in the offseason. That's why Abdul Carter's only got 1.5 sacks this year.
Sell it idea, like say for instance you're talking to a new head coach. Sell that idea right there. Why should they keep Basillo and Patterson? Sell it to a new coach. Say I'm the new coach coming in. Tell me why you think we should do that.
Since arriving at the Giants, since arriving in New York, Carmen Bracillo has taken arguably the worst offensive line in football, and with the pieces acquired by Joe Schoen, has turned this into a top 10 pass blocking unit in football. Now, imagine if he can get some slightly better personnel in there to go. We have 2 bookend tackles that he has really helped improve and shape and all that sort of stuff. And Thomas, who was a made man before he got there, but has been better this year than I think he was in even 22. And Jermaine Illuminor, who came here, I think he had worked with Bracillo before, and has had arguably the 2 best years of his career here at right tackle for us. We have seen improvement from JMS each year under Carmen Bracillo. And again, we went from having maybe the worst offensive line in football to an overall wise top half of the league, pass blocking wise specifically top 10 in the league. That is how good the offensive line has gotten under Carmen Bracillo. Now, Andre Patterson, he's the guy that developed Dexter Lawrence into what he is. He's the guy that helped Leonard Williams take his game to the next level, and now Leonard Williams looks like he's going to be have another All-Pro year in Seattle, maybe even get a first-team All-Pro. Brian Burns this year, after 2 years of working with Carmen Bracillo, is having the best year of his career. Kayvon, slow, but improvement each year under Carmen Bracillo. And we still need to see what we've got here with Abdul Carter.
Under Bracillo, you're talking about under Patterson.
Oh, sorry, Patterson. I kept saying Bracillo, didn't I?
I don't want Kayvon on the O-line. No, thank you.
No, I don't think that would. I don't think that'd be the case. All that stuff I said about the defensive players was Andre Patterson, not Carmen Bracillo. So that would be the pitch for them. And honestly, I think any coach worth his salt would see that and be like, okay, keep them there. Keep what's working. It's one less thing I need to worry about as the head coach.
That makes sense. Is that what's going to happen, though? I don't know. I think coaches are a little bit weird in that regard. They have people who they built relationships with.
Well, Andre Patterson has been here since before Dable got there.
I get that, but the new head coach hasn't. So they have relationships that they built outside of that. I'd be shocked if they keep that. I think it's a good idea because of continuity. Because look what happened when we had DJ at quarterback for the 3-4 years that he was there. What was the common theme? They kept changing coordinators every single year. He didn't have continuity. So I'd love for those 2 coaches to be able to stay. One less thing for the O-line and D-line to be worrying about. They're going to be replaced anyway. Some of those guys are not going to be on the team. I think we can see that pretty clearly right now. So you got new people coming in. They'll learn the system. They have people there to help them because they've been in the system for a year or more. I love your idea. I'll be surprised if it happens, though. But I think it's a great idea. And in regards to my idea about the having 2 running backs that can potentially score, have 1,000 yards in the season, kind of have the high-powered offense. Do you like the idea of that, or do you like the original ground and pound idea that we've been seeing over many decades now? As a young millennial, love to hear what you think about that.
Me personally, I think I want a high-powered offense.
Okay.
I think that is what the modern game is geared towards, rules-wise and everything. And if you're going to get some kind of offensive-minded head coach, I think that's going to be really what they're looking for.
I don't know where they've been going with that one. I have no idea what the tea leaves are saying. I don't know where we are with that, but we can come back to that one.
But, I don't think Malik Neighbors would be happy with a ground and pound focused offense. I think he's going to want to get involved.
Good point.
And yeah, so I think going for a high powered offense. But at the end of the day, what we need right now I don't think we need some I would love for a Chris Shula, a Jesse Minter, or someone like that to come in and be this young, innovative mind. Granted, they're both on the defensive side of the ball.
You
but
want Chris Shula as the head coach?
Yeah, he's one of the most popular names. The Rams defensive coordinator?
I know who he is.
Okay.
I'm surprised you want him as the head. Okay, go. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going. Sorry.
You know, like I think what he would be able to do, what he has done with the Rams, what Jesse Minter has done with the Chargers, or what's his face in Green Bay. You know, there are a lot of good defensive minds out there, and we have so much talent defensively. And we're going to get to this when we get into the mock draft. But, you know, you're going to see where I'm leaning with some of these things, with some of these picks, you know, that I think for combination of setting up for right now, immediate value, and, you know, filling positions of need. But as I was saying, I was getting into a bit earlier with the run defense, you know, and just the defense in general, we don't have linebackers. We need a better secondary defensive tackle who can eat up blocks, and we need to put linebackers behind them. We're severely missing Micah McFadden. Bobby Okereke has regressed. And if we can get a couple of linebackers in there that, you know, are young, athletic, violent, you know, that can just, you know, hit a guy in the hole, stop that forward progress with just his strength, you know, while Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter and Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau are kind of like just get able to go a bit more one-on-one, shed their own blocks, you know, collapse things. Like, I think that is what the defense needs, because we have severely neglected linebacker since 2021, 2022.
Oh, I think we might be able to go back even further. We haven't had a good linebacker in.
We thought we had it with Okereke after year one.
I was never 100% on that one, but okay.
I was. He was rated as a top 10 linebacker and everything. I was like, oh my God.
That always happens.
One, but this is great.
That always happens until they come to our team. That's why I'm like, oh, no, that's okay. I learned my mistakes from my mistakes. I learned from that. But okay, so I love the idea. I love what you're saying. I'm kind of on the fence with the question I posed to you, because I see what the ground and pound, low defensive scoring games do for you to get you Super Bowls. I got a chance to see that multiple times in different eras. At the same time, your point is valid about the high-powered offenses, and this is what's happening. These guys like, well, I'll use Justin Herbert. Hopefully, it's not offensive to use his name right now, but Justin Herbert, guys like him, they have the capability. They can put up Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. They can put up 40-something points in the game, and guess what? You got to match that. Either you're going to stop it, or you're going to outmatch it. I love a team that can do both of those things. So I'm kind of with you on that when I think it may be time to explore what it's like to have a high-powered offense, and at the same time address those needs like the opposite side of Dexter Lawrence and the linebacking core, which again underperformed easily, in my opinion, 5 or 6 years, maybe even more than that. It's been a while since I've seen linebackers that I was like, you know what, these guys are doing the work. I'm really happy with the results. I haven't seen it in quite a while, maybe even 10 years. I could be exaggerating, but I don't think I am. I could probably can go back 10 years. I don't see it. So who comes in that brings us that? Because they're going to be playing the hand, obviously, and picking guys in the draft, which we'll come to. A whole lot of draft Easter eggs being dropped right now. It's not on purpose. We just talk about a draft because we're mathematically eliminated. So what else should we talk about, right? So which of those guys that you like so much comes in and brings that in? Because I'm with you, and I think we should have a younger head coach because our team is probably one of the youngest in the league. We need to have somebody that's going to grow with them. The people talking about bringing back Coach Coughlin. I'm like, oh God. Nobody loves Coughlin more than me, except his wife. And even in that regard, it wouldn't be a fit for this team for him to be there. So guys like Lou Anarumo, no offense, I hardly know the man except that he has ties to our franchise and he's done some great things with the Colts defense. Mike blanking on his name. It's not McDonald.
McCarthy.
McCarthy, my God. I've been hearing McDaniel and something else all past the day. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I digress. Mike McCarthy. It's a safe choice from an offensive standpoint, but is it what we need? I'm like this. Here's where I'm trying to sum it up and then let you get to your next point that I know you have already lobbed up. Everybody on our team, for the most part, and even the guys you mentioned that we need to replace, these are all older guys, 34, 35. It's older for this team. It's not ancient, but it's old for this team. So you're talking about replacing these guys and bringing in younger guys to come in here and replace them. We got to do the same thing to some degree with that head coaching spot. The coaching staff, maybe not, but with the head coaching spot, we got to, because they're going to be tied together. This is going to be tied to each other. And it's like we need to have somebody who is willing to come in and take chances and not be afraid to throw down the field like Dart would not be. Not afraid to be creative in the play calling like Dart is not, and how we've been seeing some glimpses and shadows of that several games throughout the course of the season. So I'm not against Chris Shula. I just don't know enough about him in that spot because he hasn't been a head coach. So I don't know what he brings to the table there. Hafley is not young, but he's not old either. So that's somebody who I think about. But I love the mentor opportunity. Will we do that? Why would we do it? I told you all day about Jesse Minter and why I think he's fantastic. He's down there with Harbaugh for a reason. He got cherry picked for that spot for a reason. But as a head coach, what's that look like? So we need to have somebody young. I don't know who the candidates are up to date right now as we speak. But we need to have somebody that's young, that's going to come in and galvanize this young team and bring these guys who are going to come play that kind of football, man. So I can't wait for the draft part because we need to find guys that ain't afraid to hit people, even consider them to be violent and we're willing to mix it up. That's what he said about JMS coming out of Minnesota. They had those same terms about him. As soon as he hit Jersey, I don't know what happened. I didn't see that stuff anymore. So, long story short, what's next on the docket for us, brother? What else we got?
Well, I think it's time to get into the mock draft.
It is?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we already covered a bit of the run defense. You know, it's not been good. It's struggling. And I think, we were talking about that. We need another defensive tackle. I was saying we need linebackers, and I'm going to be getting into a bit of that when we get into this mock draft. I can tell you that my goal is going to be to address that.
Well, we'll do that then. I got two more questions I got to ask you. I feel like we missed a couple of things I want to get into.
What did you want to touch on?
I think we're good with, the remaining games in the season. I'm telling you what I think is going to happen. No need for us to drag that out. There's something going to happen there. With the Abdul Carter situation. What are we talking about with this? Is this a Carter thing, a Kafka thing, a Shane thing? What exactly is going on there in your opinion? We got to spend a lot of time on it. Just curious about that, what you think about it, because I'm like, what's happening right now?
Well, this gets into something that I kind of wanted to touch upon a bit with the coaching thing, but my only hesitancy with bringing in one of these younger, innovative coaches is they don't have some kind of established, I think Vrabel would have been a phenomenal coach for this team, but we didn't move on last season. We stuck with where we were at in terms of coaching. But we need a guy who can come in and be a disciplinarian. We need a true, and a kind of cheesy way to put this, but alpha male. We need a guy who can come in, lay down the law, and just be like, no, I'm not tolerating any BS here. This is a football team. We are professionals.
So who is that? Who's the
that's the issue. There's no option like that in free agent. The closest thing would be McCarthy because of his vet level experience. But I don't want McCarthy. I don't think that's a good choice here. I don't think that's a good choice at all.
I was trying to find the alpha. I didn't see the alpha. Where's the alpha at?
So being that as it is, I think because I do think a lot of what Carter is, he's young. He's a bit of an idiot, as we all were when we were 21, 22 years old. Not that I'm too far removed from that, but I've got 4 more years on him. And, I think that he's kind of checked out. I think he knows the Giants aren't winning anything this year. I think he wants to win. I think he's got, this is his attitude showing up. And honestly, I think this says more about the guys in the locker room than it does anything else. Dexter Lawrence, I've given you a lot of grace this year because I think you are playing through an injury. I don't think you've all of a sudden just regressed to being a good, he's still one of the best defensive tackles in football, but nowhere near the beast that he's been. I don't think that's where he's at. I think his elbow, he's dealing with stuff with his elbow. I think it's going to be very telling how he is next year. But where's the leadership, man? Where's the rallying? It seems like the only guy in the locker room there on defense that's trying anything, trying to be a leader is Brian Burns. But you guys clearly need to you guys clearly need to clean stuff up, clearly need to talk this out, clearly need to just figure out something there internally. If you're not winning games, at least don't be embarrassing yourselves. And Abdul Carter is embarrassing himself. 2 temporary suspensions, essentially like missing the first drive and then missing an entire quarter because you're being held out on a coach's decision because as a disciplinary measure because you're late to meetings or you've been caught watching allegedly watching adult films in meetings. Get a grip, man. Get a grip.
Wait a minute. Stop. Hold on 1 second. This is my first time hearing about that part.
I don't know if it's true, but I haven't seen anyone fully be like, no, that wasn't the case. A couple reports came out. And again, I don't know if it's true. That's why I said allegedly. And I'm really hoping it's not true. But allegedly he missed as much time as he did in this game against the Patriots because in the midst of a meeting, one of his headphones disconnected or something. And he was caught watching adult cinema, as it were, on his phone in a meeting. Now, I think that's so absurd, but I haven't seen anything come out about no, this is it. What? And no one's addressed it. And it's been discussed frequently on Twitter, and no one said anything about it. So
we picked him really high in the draft.
He was the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
And this just pops up like only the Giants.
Yeah.
If he was anywhere else, I'm like, well, almost anywhere. I won't say that. I won't go that far. But if he was on certain teams, there's no way this is not happening. So now I wonder, okay, so do we have a real culture problem? Or there's just one guy who just doesn't know what the heck who he wants to be in life. He got all these vets shouting at him from Twitter and from their podcast, telling him, yo, man, you got to tighten this up. It's like, are we really at that place where is it just him? Or is it just we have a real serious culture problem? Because if that's the case, man, we turn that man around, or he's going to be on the street somewhere or on a different team.
He'll end up on Philly and be great.
Man, you want that so bad. You keep saying it.
I don't want it to happen. It's the last thing in the world. You
sure are speaking it like constantly, trying to manifest this thing. It doesn't have to.
I'm not trying to manifest it. I'm trying to jinx.
Stop saying it then. Quit saying it. There's 32 teams in the league. He can go anywhere. And why are we taking moving to a rival anyway. Who does that? Besides Joe Shane. Who does that? Come on, man. All right. So let's get into our final topic for the day. Oh man, this is crazy. All right. So as you guys can already tell, mathematically the Giants are eliminated. All we're doing now trying to figure out how we're going to build from here. We know free agency is an option. We know trades are going to be an option too. Because, well, maybe to a small degree, I don't know how much we have to work with, but I'm sure trades will be an option at somewhere in there. It'll be at least a discussion about it. But free agency more than anything else, and of course, the 2026 NFL draft. So we're going to have some fun today and go into a session for
mock draft Monday.
Call it mock draft Monday. It might end up being the situation every single week. That's where we're at until the end of the season. But all right, so mock draft Monday it is. So we're going 7 rounds, right?
Yep, I've got this set for 7 rounds. We're using
boy.
Pro Football Network or PFN.
Oh,
and
man.
as you can see here, it's an updated draft order going all the way to round 7.
All right. Let's see what's going on in this thing.
So let's see. As you can see here, we're getting some trade offers. The first one is from the Jets, who are offering pick 7 of this year, pick 18 of this year, pick 38 this year, and then 2 first-round picks next year from Dallas and Indy to trade up from 7 to 1. That is a phenomenal offer. The Browns are offering pick 4, pick 28, pick 40, pick 71, and Cleveland's 2027 first-round pick next year. To move up from 4.
Which first is going to be higher, Cleveland or Dallas? You know which one it's going to be.
It's probably going to be Cleveland.
You betcha.
New Orleans is offering their 5th, 2nd, their 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks this year. Their 1st and 2nd next year.
Ooh.
That is the same offer from Pittsburgh, except the picks this year will be much worse. So I'm thinking we go with the Cleveland pick here, because I think this Cleveland pick is going to be better than either of the 2 first-round picks that the Jets are offering. That being said, we're essentially turning, if we take this deal with the Jets, we're turning 1 first-round pick into 4 first-round picks. And that other first-round pick is 10 spots higher this year.
Let's eliminate the ones that we know we don't want. Let's just keep those.
That would be Pittsburgh, definitely.
Let's keep Pittsburgh out of the way. Let's reject this. Can you reject it and not lose the other picks? It's been a while. I forgot how this works. Okay.
Reject.
Cool. All right. Indy's going
to reject high. New Orleans.
I'm not sure if I want to do that.
Because what I'm wondering here is also, and again, it's a bit about playing the system. If we trade back to 4, will the Jets come calling again?
They may not be the only ones that do that. That's the cool part. Tell you the truth, even at 5, it could still happen. So you got Cleveland here, New Orleans, and what's the other one? That's it? Just those 2?
Cleveland, New Orleans, and the Jets.
We could take the Jets out.
Take the Jets out?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. All right, so Cleveland and New Orleans.
The main difference here is Cleveland is giving us 2 first-round picks, a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and a 1st next year. New Orleans is offering a 1st-round pick, 2nd-round pick, and 3rd-round pick this year, but a 1st and 2nd next year.
Ooh, it's nice. What are we doing, man?
I think we accept this Cleveland deal. I think we take the Cleveland deal.
Let's do it.
So, all right, this is not very realistic here. But the Browns took a edge rusher. Carnell Tate goes 2.
I've never heard of him before, so that's funny. So hilarious. Okay.
The Jets are now offering pick 7 and pick 38 this year for 4 and 101. New Orleans is offering us another first-round pick for next year.
Now,
if this comes in and we're picking at 4 and New Orleans is offering us 5 in their first next year, I'm not even hesitating on doing this trade. This is not very realistic, but
it's not, of course. I like that as long as we get the guy that I think we're thinking about at 5. That's what.
What guy are you thinking about right now?
I'm thinking about Reese here.
They took Fernando Mendoza. I knew they were going to do that.
I didn't even know that. Okay, so I think at this point,
the only trade offer. This is what Pittsburgh is offering us to move up to 5.
No way. Can we take Reese here?
For me, it would come down to Reese or Downs. I would prefer Downs over Reese right now.
Really? We'll have a third host to break this tie. So how do we handle this?
All right. Well, my thoughts on Reese are: would he be willing to play more as an off-ball linebacker rather than an edge rusher? Because operating under the assumption here that we are keeping Kayvon Thibodeaux, which I would prefer, because Reese is not a very big. He wants to be an edge rusher like Abdul Carter. Like, a lot of people view him as this versatile weapon. But he's not big enough, in my opinion, to truly be a great edge setter. He's more raw as a pass rusher, as an edge player than Abdul Carter. And so if he is willing to be more of an off-ball linebacker, like a true Mike, then I would love to take Arvell Reese here. But assuming that is not the case, I think having Caleb Downs come in and replace Tyler Nubin, essentially, like Caleb Downs, I think is pound for pound the best player in the draft. But that's just me.
One thing I figured out by doing these mock drafts, and I did a whole special on them earlier this year, they made me just look at things a lot differently. So now I'm looking at Reese versus Downs. Downs' production has dropped every single year so far. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but that's definitely, you can see it in the numbers, and it's very glaring. You can see it. It looks like in Reese's case, he doesn't have a lot of production. Wondering what that's about. Downs' games they dropped from year before, but his tackling numbers are up, and his interceptions are also up too. Aside that though, man, I don't. This is a tough one, man. I don't know how we pick that. You want to go with Downs? Let's do it, brother. We go with Downs and try to find a linebacker somewhere in the probably in the next round. I doubt anybody's going to be picking here or trading with us here. So, all right. So we're at 28. Now, what's that? Probably because of the New Orleans draft trade, right? I think it was.
This is from the Browns trade.
Browns trade, okay, 28. All right. Oh boy.
So right now,
trying to squint and see these names of these players. So forgive me for squinting.
We got Ty Simpson, the quarterback, Isaiah World, the tackle, Colton Hood, the CB, Caden McDonald, the defensive tackle, another offensive tackle, Blake Miller out of Clemson, Iapani Lalulu out of Oregon, Chase Besantis, guard, Parker Brailsford, center, Caleb Banks, defensive tackle, Anthony Hill, linebacker. My preference here would be either McDonald or Miller. But you know, draft a defensive tackle here.
Why are we not thinking about corner here?
Colton Hood is
I wasn't saying him, but talking about just in general.
Will Lee. This is not, in my opinion, the best corner draft. There are some guys that I like, but honestly, for me personally, I don't know if I want to go corner super. Like, if we were going corner right now, I would say it should have been like maybe we should have traded back again. You know, try to make some trades. You know, end up towards the middle of the draft to get more of a Monsieur Delane. The other corner out of Tennessee, whose name eludes me right now.
The other corner?
Yeah, corner out of
Tennessee. Find that. Talking about McCoy?
Yeah, McCoy. Jermon McCoy. Yeah, Jermon McCoy. Thank you.
Yeah. His numbers are very, very good in regards to what he does.
We have again,
but then again, so is Hood.
My preference with what is on the board right now. If Philly didn't take Ione right here, one pick ahead of us, I would be drafting him no hesitation. But if with where we are right now, I'm thinking we'd go Christian Miller, Anthony Hill.
That's where I want to stop you. Right there with Hill.
You're not a Hill guy?
I am. I think we should be thinking about it. What I couldn't tell was where they had him slotted to be.
Anthony Hill right now is pick 45 projection.
45, okay. And we're at 28, right?
28. We have 28, 35, and 40 coming up.
Ooh, okay. Well, we'll hold off on Hill. See if we can grab him later on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we go Christian Miller right here, then Hill, then we can take if a corner's available, or one of these guards is there. Like, that's where I'm thinking we go. And then we'll end up in the third round here. We can maybe look at a wide receiver in rounds 3 and 4. Because, I mean, again, this hasn't been I've thought PFN in the past has been a bit more realistic than PFF. But the fact that a wide receiver went 2 and the Browns traded everything they did to move up to 1 to take not even the highest ranked edge rusher on the board, like,
I don't know.
Realistically, we could have gotten like another trade back and taken like a wide receiver, like a Mekhi Lemon, a Jordan Tyson, or a Carnell Tate, closer in the 10 to 13 range.
Well, let's go ahead and grab somebody. I'm not really thrilled with the Miller idea, but if we want to go with it, we can. But I'm not. That doesn't give me goosebumps.
So we go with Christian Miller there. Then we will take Anthony Hill, like we discussed.
That excites me.
This one?
No, the Miller. I mean the Hill pick. Excuse me, not Miller.
Now here,
did we get our guy? Got Hill?
We got Hill. We got Hill at 35. We took Miller at 28. So far, this has been an entirely defensive draft for the Giants.
Well, that won't last long, but based on what we've been seeing out there, especially in the secondary, well, maybe it's a good idea. I'm not sure Miller is in the top 3 best in the draft, but that's totally fine. We can work with that. All right, so I've seen that name before. I thought about him from time to time. Brailsford.
There's Iapani Lalulu. Wondering if he's a little undersized.
He is. You don't have to wonder. He is.
But they say he's got great density, mass, and leverage. Elite strength.
Let's look at Brailsford. See where his measurables are. We're gonna start making some picks a little bit faster here.
6'2", 290. He's definitely undersized.
Boy. Alrighty then. This is gonna be fun.
There isn't another guard that they're saying is worth taking until the third round.
Yeah,
if we wanted to look at a backup tackle here.
Well, we're gonna have to look at it, but this is the place we want to do that. I guess there's a question. Offensively, what's going on?
Offensively, we've got some wide receiver options.
Simpson is still there. Nobody didn't get Simpson yet. That's incredible.
No one's taken Simpson yet.
That's weird.
Of these available wide receivers here, Jacoby Lane. He's a big body that we need, 6'4", about 200.
He's lean, huh?
Good 50-50 guy.
I feel like I've seen him a couple of times. We've seen some USC games out here, but 50-50 guy, right?
He needs to work on separation, but
oh gosh, it's the last thing you need to be hearing about right now for us. But okay, aggressive.
There's Jeremy Bernard here, 6', 209.
I can't get behind this one.
Nope.
Or can't do it.
Then let's go.
Right, so let's look at it. Let's find the I guess in this place what fuels a need. So
well, we've taken
the tight end
safety,
too, huh?
We've taken safety, defensive tackle, and a linebacker.
What's going on with tight end? Where we at with tight end? At 40?
Oscar Delp here, 6'5", 250.
Yeah, he plays for Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at this one, but
I wouldn't hate this either.
You can let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Because because ideally I'd love for him to beat Theo out and Theo be the tight end too. That'd be a fantastic scenario for us. That puts us in a whole better position offensively too. All right, so we're at 71 happened quick. All right, so where are we here?
I think
what are we looking at?
I think we want to go either wide receiver or offensive line here.
Let's look at the O-line. At 71.
Offensive guard out of Iowa here. Needs to put on some weight, but has the frame of a 6'4".
I heard his name before, but I don't know a whole lot about him. It's just
Cade Pieper. I don't know too much about him either.
All right, so you got to put on weight. All right.
Jaden Roberts here, 6'5", 310.
A name that I have heard. Okay, well, I don't know him either. Alabama. There's some friend that are Bama fan. They can tell me all about him right here, but let's put a pin in this one. What about Rutledge? That's a name that I have heard. How you feeling about? Oh, nice. We gotta do our own research here. That's what they saying. Nothing. All right, Rutledge. He's an O-line guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Can't find any numbers on this guy. His measurable 6'4", 330. So he's not tiny. How you feeling about the other guy we looked at? Oh, blanked out on his name already. Piper, I guess. No, what's Piper? No, what's Piper? The other guy. Roberts. How you feeling about that?
Jaden Roberts here.
Getting goosebumps about this guy? No.
He's got some balance issues. I'd like it, honestly. I'd like J.
Okay.
Roberts.
Let's roll with it then, man. Let's do it. I don't know how many picks we got left. I have no idea. We already an hour and we having fun. I like this. This is fun. All right. So, oh no, that's not good enough for where we
The
are.
fact that Connor Lew is still here,
I'm shocked by that one too.
I accidentally hit draft instead of info. So we took Connor Lew.
So what happened?
But here's his draft profile here.
Okay. Oh, 20 JCL.
Mm-hmm. But taking a flyer on a guy like that in the 4th?
Yeah, is that where we are? We got 71, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, now we're at
past that.
We're at 143 here.
Oh yeah, I would definitely try that. If we can do that, that'd be great.
We already took him.
Oh, we did?
We took him at 101.
I didn't see it happen.
143.
It happened real quick. Okay.
We still haven't gotten any weapons for Dart, but honestly, you know, we've now got Cleveland and New Orleans as first next year, and next year is going to be an insane draft for weapons theoretically. So
if you can find some guys that have height, that's fantastic. So we haven't gotten any wide receivers there.
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
We've got some options here though. CJ Daniels, 6'2", 205 out of Miami.
Something to think about. I'm not really against this. I don't know a whole lot. I think I've probably seen one game of his this year.
Ian Strong out of Rutgers. He's been really good for the Scarlet Knights.
I didn't see any Rutgers game. Well, I did see one game this year, but he didn't stand out to me. But okay. You want to give him some help with Daniels?
Yeah, we can go Daniels here.
Chase Roberts, we just watched him on the championship stage, so we just watched Chase Roberts. All right, we back in again. We're back at 180.
180 here.
What do we
go back to the offensive line here?
We'll be drafting special team. It's getting to that place in life.
I am heavily considering special teams at 191 and 192. But if we want to go back to the offensive line here, continue stacking up there, get another guard here. Trezon, I mean, at 6'6", 315. He's a much older prospect, though.
Doesn't have the arm length for a proto left tackle. Okay.
Which is why he'd be probably a guard, but if we wanted to do that, if we want to just go straight back to, wide receiver here, double up on that. Go secondary with Devin Moore here at 6'3". He's got some size to him.
Yeah. Well, we like guys that can play multiple positions, but if he's not able to play tackle in the NFL, it ain't going to be much help. He's going to be projected to be a guard, and that's all he's going to be. No flexibility there, which is sometimes I think the Giants continually like to have on their lines. Where we going, man? We got O-line or wide receiver. That would be our?
That's what I would think, either O-line or wide receiver.
Let's look at the line.
He doesn't weigh enough.
I don't know anything about him.
Carter Smith, 6'5", 315. For a good Indiana team.
Just watch his game, but I didn't pay any attention to it. Could be a good thing. If I didn't hear anything about it, that means he was doing great.
All right, let's go Carter Smith here.
Let's do it.
Continue to address O-line. And now for our last two picks.
Oh boy.
I think we draft Dominic Zavada, kicker, Michigan. What have you heard about him? You're the Michigan guy here.
Stop playing. You know I know everything about this man. This man is he's automatic.
All right, I'm taking him.
Automatic. Now, back in the day when Jake Moody was out there, I didn't say that about him because at Michigan he wasn't automatic, and he showed that when he got to the league. So Vada, he rarely misses anything. All right, so with our last pick, what's as far as the big boy, what's actually out here? Because at this point, you might want to go BPA. So what do we have? That's blowing your mind out here. Somebody who's still out here.
I say, my homerism is let's take Ian Strong, wide receiver out of Rutgers.
As opposed to who? It's just like a one-of-one choice. There's nobody else left.
I mean, there's more offensive line, more defensive line. Could take a corner. Christian Gray at Notre Dame.
Nobody's blowing your mind here, though. You don't like anybody.
No one's really blowing my mind here.
Let's pick your guy then. We're going to be doing this again for sure. I'm pretty positive of that.
Oh, yeah.
Again. Might use a different.
Yeah, we might do PFF next time.
Let's do that. Do it.
But here it is, the Big Blue Lifers, the first official mock draft results.
Run them off. What do we do?
We finished with Caleb Downs at safety.
Okay.
Christian Miller, defensive tackle.
Okay.
Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker.
Love it.
Oscar Delp, tight end.
Love that too. Good.
Ian Roberts, guard.
Saw that.
Connor Liu, center. CJ Daniels, wide receiver. Carter Smith, offensive tackle. Dominic Zavada, kicker.
Go Blue!
And Ian Strong, wide receiver. As well as acquiring Cleveland's first-round pick next year and New Orleans' first-round pick next year.
Yeah, I know it's not reality, but we sure did get a nice haul.
If the Giants leave the draft this upcoming draft with this haul, I would be over the moon ecstatic. We get who I believe is the best player in the draft in Caleb Downs. So we're addressing part of our secondary issue. We had a big defensive tackle to play alongside Dexter Lawrence there in the middle. We address linebacker.
We needed that.
With Anthony Hill. We get another tight end who, if he can be a bit more consistent in his receiving than Theo Johnson, I could easily see taking the starting tight end role there.
That's what I want to happen.
We add 2 interior offensive line pieces, and if Connor Liu is, able to recover from the ACL and looks good, then I think he could possibly even be competing for the starting job day one with JMS, at least competing for, maybe doesn't outright win. Jaden Roberts can probably come in and start soon. Don't love the weapons outside of Delp we'd be adding here for Dart, but again, depending on the moves we make in free agency and how much cap space we free up here, we might end up, being able to sign 1 or 2 vet guys, and these guys would be young depth pieces and nothing more. So you never know here. I would love this for the Giants.
I think it'd be great.
Especially since we're now entering 2027, which is expected to be maybe the most loaded class in years, with three potential top 5 picks, depending on how things break.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely building for the future, and New York has become a destination. So I'm excited about it. So bringing the right coaching staff, the right names, express interest. People talk. They start talking and texting each other, and before you know it, you could have a serious squad out here in New York, which is something I can't say we've had a lot over the years. So this should be new territory, especially if you're going for the high-scoring offense. And we're saying, you know what, we're going to blow the lid off of defenses around the league. So something to be happy about. But we're excited about this. We're going to bust out another mock draft next week, different platform. I think it'll be a little bit different, a lot more realistic. See what the Giants can do next week, man. But that's Jess. I'm Mr. U. We're having a fantastic time doing mock draft because that's all that we have right now. Thanks again for watching the Big Blue Lifers podcast. Have a great day. We're out.